See, the topic of ego is misunderstood. I have explained in this book, ego, and then further, and then it's just other books I will explain differently. I'm just simplifying. Patanjali say, Driga Drishya Ekatmata Eva Asmita. Asmita means ego. From yoga standpoint, ego means I consciousness. I consciousness is pure consciousness. That is desirable thing. Pure consciousness is like a space. It's like a light. It doesn't judge what we are doing. It's totally untouched. So I consciousness is necessary, but when I consciousness uses intellect, combined with intellect is the instrument, thinking faculty, discriminating faculty, and consciousness together makes ego. What they do, they get together and say, I am the body. Okay? That is ego. I am the senses. I am seeing, I am hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and that identification is ego. I am the mind and I am the emotion is ego. Okay? So ego is identity with them. But I consciousness is not involved. But I consciousness with intellect binds us. That is what builds sanskaras and suffering. So if we remove the identity that I'm not the body, I'm not the senses, we become free. And we further get attached to things, people, situation, this. So when we realize I am not any of this, that is purifying ego. So meditation, just to understand intellectually, theoretically, is to become free from the world, free from our identity with the body, senses, mind, and remaining as pure consciousness. So meditation is not controlling the mind, but transcending the mind. Transcending mind dissolves. Expanding the mind so much that I and you become one. I and entire world becomes one. In that state, then you come back. Then you say all the things look petty. My house, my husband, my wife, what I ate, what somebody said, all this become petty. So this is the practical philosophy of meditation, to see that I am consciousness and don't identify with the body. So all the problems come with identity, and this is the ego. So in pure sense, ego or ahankar is I consciousness, that is pure, no problem. But I consciousness and intellect or buddhi get involved, produce identity. It's a wrong identity. Though we are not the body, we consider ourselves the body. Consider our life as a river. Consider like a river. It flows. Our life flows. We sleep and wake up, sleep and wake up. Same way, we are born, live, get older, die, again born again. It's continuous flow. There is continuity. What are the banks of the rivers? Time and space are the bank of the river. River doesn't really exist. You cannot bathe in the same river twice. It looks like a river, but it's changing constantly. Our body made up of 50 trillion cells are constantly changing. In a few months, some of the cells of the body change. In 7 years, we are totally new person, but everyone thinks you are the same. We remain the same, but because we hold on. River doesn't hold on, it keeps on flowing. And where does it go? It meets the ocean. So our spiritual journey is continuing life after life until we reach the source, meet the source, dissolve our identity and become universal. So that is called liberation, to free ourselves from identity with world, our own existence, a separate existence, to see unity, everything is interconnected, then we get the freedom. All the suffering is imaginary. All the suffering is imaginary. More you are attached, more you suffer. And attachment is such a topic. Vairagya means freedom from that. And I have explained more and more with many examples, and takes time to digest. Simplified way of explaining what is non-attachment: not running toward anything and not running away from anything. Okay, it's simplest. So you see, all our life we run towards something and try to avoid something. Another way of understanding of non-attachment is world and situation don't disturb your peace. Like an ocean is deep, though there is tsunami and waves, bottom is always peaceful. In a bicycle or car's wheel, the center remains untouched when the wheel turns. In a hurricane, the center is always still. And that is what we are, maintaining that awareness while the world is flowing. That is called non-attachment. Non-attachment or vairagya means not being touched by anything. Though we are in the world doesn't touch us. Okay. Does it make sense? It's simple enough. Okay. So, all our suffering comes with a wrong identity. If you identify with your body, what would be the problem? I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm this, I'm that, right? Then you identify with the senses. I don't like this, I don't like to see this, I don't want to hear this. Yes. Then if you go further, forget about yourself, outside, I don't like this person, the way person says that. And we identify with our ideology. You know, person says you are stupid. What does it do? We identify with that feeling, emotion. We are not touched by anything. So this is what practical application and meditation does, it to isolate yourself, that I am not the body, I am not the senses, I am not the mind. And what do we do with them? We use them as instrument only. And that comes freedom. Does it make sense? Or just think? So it's hard, but it's just ultimately that is truth. Okay, bottom line is, who determines our happiness? We do. What kind of happiness do we want? In the morning or afternoon? Or in the summer or only in the winter? Or only at home? We want happiness all the time. And that happiness all the time is called bliss. Okay, so the difference between bliss and happiness and pleasure and bliss. Bliss is our nature. Nothing can contaminate it. We just have to realize it. So everyone searches for happiness in the world. It feels like by possessing the things, controlling people, this, I will be happy. In reality, more you try to control anyone or anything, you will be controlled. More we try to control, more we get controlled. Think about it. A prisoner is carried, I put in the book some here and there. A prisoner is carried by a policeman in the bus to transport him to another prison cell. Okay? There in the bus, can you imagine who will be awake and who will be sleeping? Prisoner will be at ease, he has nowhere to go. The policeman will be awake because to make sure he doesn't run away. Right? Mm-hmm. So when we try to control anything, we are getting control. We are putting the strings. Who can remove the strings? We can do. Okay. So this is just superficial explanation, is a depth, and it will take much more time. So does it make sense on this? So once you realize, all this takes is realization. Realization is this bondage is created by us. And who is in greater bondage? Who have created more possessions, more attachment, they are the prisoners. Who is the happiest person in the world? Who is, okay, who is, your definition of who is the greatest person in the world, who is the most accomplished person in the world. Does he have more money, more wealth, more fame, more power? What would be the definition? Most happiest person is a renunciate, who has renounced everything. Surrender to God, not even worrying about own body or sustenance. Happiest person is the one who is content. What is contentment? Contentment is restlessness comes from the senses. So, yada sanharde chayam, just simplifying, and tortoise withdraws the limbs for protection and uses only shield for protection. Same way we withdraw the senses inward. That is. Patanjali says, tada drushtuhu swarupe avasthanam. There are 5 mental restlessness stages. When one withdraws inward, finds peace. That is the happiest person. Bhagavad Gita says, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manotgatan atmanevatmana tushta sthita prajna tadochite. When one abandons all the cravings of the mind and remains content within itself. So bottom line is exactly opposite than our equation. Happiness comes from outside and somewhere else. It's not there. So if you want to improve your relationship, don't try to change anyone. Don't try to tell anyone what to do. You only change yourself. You change your perception. Cultivate compassion. Patanjali says there are 4 kinds of people. I put in this and other book. 4 kinds of people. Those who are happy, sukhi, dukhi, punya, apunya. Happy people, unhappy people, virtuous people, wicked people. And he shows technique how to deal with them. And I just explain from time to time. Join the people who are happy instead of being jealous of them. Instead of people who are suffering, instead of feeling pity and hating them, have compassion for them. Virtuous people learn something. And how about wicked people? Indifference, avoid them or cultivate indifference. So these are the 4 devices.